Mixing beats is way easier than 90% of producers assume. It doesn't require any special plugins, any special gear, any special talent or knowledge. It requires only few basic principles and some experience. So I will show you how to mix your beats in 6 stupidly simple steps. But by the way, I don't want to give you some BS, some magic formula that I figure out by sitting over the over the piece of paper. No, I will literally show you how I mix beat for my new channel. Later I will give you a link to the specific video that I will upload to my YouTube Typebeats channel with this beat, okay? So don't expect some like quick dopamine hits during watching because it will take me some time, but I will show you that I can literally mix my beats from scratch in probably, it should take me like 15 minutes or less, okay? Literally, so just let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into this mixing, okay? I literally made this beat like 2 hours ago, I think, and now I want to upload it to my channel, so I need some really like basic mixing, okay? I'm checking if it's recording, okay? That's why I so out for a second. Okay, so at first, when I make my beat, probably you do this too, you don't just make one loop. Some of you will make loop and start mixing, but I prefer to make hook, verse, so I already like create this like basic structure of the beat. So I have already structure while I'm mixing, okay? So now we want to loop some part of the beat to start mixing. And now, what part of the beat will I usually start looping? The most important part, so generally the beginning. Usually I put hook in the beginning of the beat, so you want to mix the hook for 2 reasons. At first, hook is the most important part of the beat. Another thing, like, if it's on the beginning, you want to make it even better, okay? Obviously, if we have like 10 hours for mixing our shit, then yeah, we can go and mix separately some stuff on the verse. We can like sit on this for hours, but I want to do this in like literally, I don't know, I will a timer here. I want to do this literally in like 15 minutes. I think I can do it 10, so it depends on how much will I be explaining actually. So at first, we loop this thing, and now I already sent everything to mixer, okay? Like no, like everything is on separate channel. Like if you want to be smart with that, like I highly don't suggest you getting smart with that because there's like no point. You just send like every specific track to specific place on the mixer, okay? You will be really good with this solution, okay? I'm not sure why this one is it, and it's kind of weird. Well, I get a second. No, this is some I'm not sure why it happens. Okay, so at first, well, step number 1 is just balance, okay? So at first we're playing whole thing and we're trying to find balance of loudness, okay? So I will try to show you how to do this. Like the most important part of this is like this chord progression, this power chord progression actually. Okay, so I would say that it shouldn't be so loud, okay? So I just keep it in, let's say, -15, okay? It doesn't really matter, but I like to keep this first instrument in -15, okay? Then the layer. Okay, so I can play a little bit, just find the sound that I really want to achieve, okay? So I'm like slightly adding. Yeah, it sounds proper now. I'm adding more sounds. Definitely too loud. Just pay attention that right now I'm generally going from zero loudness, okay? Because sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I will just decrease loudness like -6 dB, okay. But if I want to achieve like really proper mixing, I would usually go from 0 and check what level feels nice, okay. Because then I'm starting kind of with lack of this sound, and then I'm checking when this sound becomes transparent enough to make it just to find the proper space for that in the beat. So I think that it's not really clear. More. Yeah, now it's something around this point, okay? So now another instrument. The same thing, we go from 0. Like, pay attention, I'm literally using my cap to not look at the screen. I want to find the real point where the instrument, I can barely hear that, like not barely, but when I'm fine with that. I don't want to fool myself with my eyes. I literally use only my ears. Yeah, I think right now we're Yeah, it sounds proper now. Now 808. Usually 808, I don't want to put it in more than -6. And with 808 there is like little side point that I will use because there are people who use 808 with kind of layered kick. I hate doing that, even if I have them layered. I will usually do something like that. I will cut the beginning a little bit here, SMP start, and then I will do something like this, okay? And I will put this attack a little bit like this. Okay. And usually for me 808 is always something from -9 to -6 these days, okay? Especially in this kind of hard trap beat, so it's not rocket science. Now a snare. Snare is usually pre-mixed, so I don't have to worry. It does sound proper, maybe a little bit too much. Yeah, I generally aim for -10, for -9 with snare. Just kind of for me, you know, just make it as loud as you should it be, but like I just put it -9. My mixes sound proper. I think that, like, you know, but that works for me because I have my specific ear, my specific choices of loudness of other parts, okay? Because if you, for example, decide to mix your 808 at -15, then snare at -9 is something completely different, okay? So just pay attention to that. So generally use your ears. Don't use like these numbers here, because I can use them if I'm experienced with these mixes, okay? But if I give you advice that yeah, you should now put snare on -9, but you're the kind of guy who generally mixes very like softly, okay? So if you put your 808 in -15, in this case your snare will be too fucking loud, okay? So just use your fucking ears. And now this snare sounds fine. Now kick. Okay. And now we have only hi-hat left. But no, wait, we should actually have few. Yeah, we have those two other guys. A little bit too much. Yeah. Oh, by the way, very important, don't mix with some soft clipper or limiter, because sometimes it will just make you think that you don't have some distortion, some clipping involved, but actually you have these big peaks of dBs. You don't want that, okay? So generally after balance of loudness, I don't think that you need to be at minus, below 0. I think that it's still okay to have distortion at this point, okay? Because we still need to do some like you know, loudness stuff. But yeah, at this point balance is ready, because right now if you don't want to see these peaks, you can just go minus on master, and you know, nothing wrong with that generally, okay? So that's step number 1. Then step number 2 is filtering. So generally if you make like this kind of trap beat, you don't touch your 808 with filtering. You just like, you filter whole bass from the melody, okay? So that's literally what I will do right now. We don't want these low frequencies because it will kind of play with the bass. We don't want it in our beat, okay? Like right now, it's not kind of like, I'm not adding frequencies to make it more tasty, I'm cutting frequencies to make it a little bit less mess, okay? Because right now the mix is messy. Yeah. Cutting these bass frequencies. Yeah, good. Sounds fine. It doesn't really sound better when you play it all alone, but when you play it with the bass, now I understand that yeah, you created some space for it. Now the 808 will have a lot more power, because now that's the only thing that provides us bass, okay? Why is it? Oh, fuck! I made something around this. Yeah, I was playing with with my keyboard, so that's why. We still have some bass to remove here, probably. Now, the hook melody, probably also have a little bit of bass. Oh, not really, but we can still put it just so our feelings are not hurt. Yeah. Do we want to filter some hi-hat? Do we want to filter some no, we don't need that. Because at this point we are filtering, we are not doing any additional work. I mean, we are not adding high end, we are not adding low end. We just want to cut unnecessary frequencies. So this whole low end on our melodic parts was not necessary, okay? We can take a listen now. You ain't gonna really spot a difference at this point, okay? But you can see that now we don't have those really big peaks because we removed those low frequencies, okay? Because we want one source of low frequencies, because low frequencies are way easier to interfere with them, okay? So, and yeah, when you, they will just, because when you have low frequencies, there is like really small range of them, okay? You have like, you know, anything from, let's say 20 to 100. So we have only 80 Hertz, okay? We are hitting those 80 Hertz roughly, okay? This is not a big range. This is just 80 Hertz. If we go then to higher frequencies, for example, to higher frequencies, so from 1000 to 5000, like we have 5000 Hertz, okay? This space is real and it's way bigger than 80 Hertz. That's why it's easier to make big mess in the low end. That's why we don't layer in the low end, okay? We're not doing multiple melodies in the low end. Only one thing in the low end is good. So now, generally, it's time to add some effects. And now, this is kind of thing that you usually don't have to do. If you have proper drums, they are pre-mixed from some proper pack, as I have something producer grind, you completely don't think about it. You don't even need some reverb on that. Definitely no distortion, no some compression. No, you don't even need to play with frequencies. You will make it sound worse, not better. If we want to add something, we can add something to our melody. Okay, so for example, maybe I want to add this. Maybe like this frequency, so I will boost it a little here, okay? And I don't need any distortion here. There's no point in that. I don't see any need for distortion or some compression, okay? Like in these specific mixes for my trappy beats, I think I haven't used compressor like in fucking month of making them, okay? I just don't need that. Here, maybe we want some. Yeah, it sounds nice. You just want to find nice. That's why you don't really need a lot of knowledge. You just need experience. When you understand that, yeah, you're just feeling what sounds nice, then it's easier to add it, okay? And that's literally all I would do with this melody. Here, I don't think we need anything more. Maybe a little high end. Yeah, some high end here. Yeah, here some high end would be beneficial. This high and we cut a little bit of this. Yeah. And the rest of the things stay literally the same, okay? There is they don't need any distortion. I don't need any fucking chorus on that. It sounds proper enough already, okay? We don't need any smart shit here. There are beats where you're playing with your, I don't know, some interesting plug that will make your samples sound more interesting. But if we have some nice synthesizer, nice drum kit, nice bass, no need for that. Completely no need for that, okay? So now we can go to step number 4, which is sidechain, okay? I want to, in this case, what is sidechaining, by the way? Like you should know this at this point, but you're just kind of doing processing of 2 instruments at once. I mean, that one instrument can trigger changes in mix in another instrument. Okay, so in this case, what actually is sidechain? Sidechains lets you make 808 less loud when kick is playing. That's literally the whole point of that. So you just go to kick and you do. Right, maybe I will reset it. You do right click. Fuck. You do right click on 808, sidechain. You go to 808. You go to dynamics, fruity limiter. That's it. Okay. Then we go to compressor, which is sidechain number 1, some ratio. Yeah. And now we have even less man. And now I could add some, for example, I could also add some sidechain on this layer of the melody. Why not? Okay, we can do it on every instrument, but there's no. If it would be sample, I would go for that. But in this case, I will just add a little to show you that you can. I could add more of that. Okay, let's just take a listen now. Yeah, now like maybe let's play it like that. Okay, but I will add less. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, so usually at this point your beat needs some glue, so it just needs some reverb and some delay. We want to add, I don't really use a lot of reverb and I don't use much reverb on drums these days. Maybe if it would be some old school beat, okay, but these drums are priming, this is trap, we don't need it on our drums. We want to, for example, here we got some kind of delay, so I would just add really slight touch of reverb. So we just, but remember, never add reverb and delays on your channel. Okay, just go here, you also do like right click and route to this track. Not only, just route to this track. And then on this track, you choose your favorite reverb. For example, it could be this. And we do 100% there, okay? Because in this case, we have a lot bigger influence. I want to add some pre-delay. And we want to filter it. You never want some low end in your reverb. It doesn't really make sense, okay? And like high end also is not that good. I would think that, yeah, something like that. That's why I love using send channels, because now we don't need all those fancy plugins with like, you know, 20 different fucking like, you know, tweak buttons for your reverb. No, just do send channel, and now I can add even delay on this reverb, okay? I can add reverb to reverb. I can do anything with that, okay? That's why I love using send channels. And now on this guy, yeah, I would add some, maybe a little delay, like barely noticeable, okay? Let's take a listen. Also, in this case, only dry, no wet, 100% dry, okay? So now we have, let's say this, some DAC, because it's kind of automatic sidechain, okay? We could also use sidechain on our own, but this plugin lets me use sidechain with this, okay? It literally is the tweak of sidechain. Yeah, sounds. And we also do some filtering here. A little bit. Yeah. And now the last thing that I would like to kind of glue into the track is this hook melody. So at first I will add some reverb, definitely. Okay. Pre-delay. I want to make it long as well. And I want to filter it. I want to filter the hell out of it. 500 to even something like that. Yeah, sounds way better. Yeah, and the last part of every proper mix should be some panning, okay? So for example, I love to do this if I have some two layers in my main melody, okay? So I can put one send channel on left, one on right. Okay, or I could do it here, but like since I have those send channels, I will do this with send channels, okay? So one reverb and one delay is on the side. Great, let's just use this fucking stereo, okay? Now, oh, these hi-hats are great for stereo. We can just, because they are kind of answering each other. Yeah, sounds great. Like kick, snare, and they always stay in the middle, and hi-hat can go a little bit to the right or left, okay? Yeah, that's like step number 6, which is panning, okay? That's like, and look, we have no peaks here. It's below 0. Oh. Yeah, and now if I want to export it instantly to, for example, YouTube, to BeatStars, to whatever, you just go add some FruitySoft Clipper and you're good. FruitySoft Clipper is a great fucking plugin. Yeah, so it took me literally like, oh no, 60 minutes. Okay, so more than I expected, honestly, because I was talking about 15 minutes, but I was actually talking a lot during the process. So yeah, it's like, it's really that easy. You just do the steps that I mentioned and you're good. And I don't want you to do anything more. Sometimes you will add some little horror, some little distortion, but that's for your taste. That's to make beat more interesting. But if you have beat ready and you already feel that, okay, I just need to make it sound proper enough for YouTube, for Instagram, whatever, you just do the same process as I did here, and that's all, okay? And now, if we want to get more into details of mixing your beats and generally making better beats, you can go into first link in the description. Is my paid product. At the moment I'm working on the new mixing course specifically for this. We also have this whole community of producers similar to you. I'm also doing those weekly meetings where I'm on video right now and I'm answering your questions, and there is also 10 hours selling beats course inside. So just go into first link in the description. That's all for today. Bye.